Hey,
that hurts.
Daniel, remember what I said. Low profile.
Yeah.
Okay. We're cool.
I think also
I don't
part
like
of the reason
working on a farm.
I know.
that Daniel
Could be way
is
worse.
acting
We're making cash, Inanno.
more like a
Okay,
teenager
okay.
is because
Wish
Finn acts younger than he
we could check on
is,
Chris.
and
Just
then Daniel is acting older
see
than
if
he
he's
is,
We
right?
will, Daniel.
Yeah, like he's
When we're
modeling
safe
the behavior that
and
he's
far
seeing.
away.
And Finn
I
acts
know.
like a teenager.
Which I
had
know we've
fun
talked a
playing
bit
hide and
about
seek last night,
how that works in this
especially
game, but I think
in the
again it's
dark.
such a sophisticated like design because I think that's the
You aren't scared at
way
all?
that children learn the most.
Come on.
Not
Like
with
they
Finn.
watch you
We
and
had the
they
best
model you.
hiding spot.
Yeah.
Like more than what you tell them.
Yeah, definitely. It's what you show them. So then, when parents especially say,
Here, my
do as
man.
I say, not as I do, it's like,
need
well,
a bodyguard
that's not
like
how it
you.
works.
It's literally the opposite of how it works.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just how human beings work, right? But obviously children are sponges for
Mind if
knowledge.
I sit here?
Sure.
Why so serious?
Nothing.
Running on gay
Just-
time, I see.
Thinking.
As always.
I'm always worried about my city
Queen.
boy.
Everyone here? This isn't a fucking school bus. We're late.
The bit where Daniel goes to sit with Finn and not with Sean.
That shit hurts, man.
It really does. Like, I think it's also even where obviously this game is one of the many things this game does really well is like, I think showing the pain that parents go through a lot of the time. And like, obviously we see that a bit through like some of Esteban's experiences and with like some of the stuff we've talked about, but like, just like the pain of like your kid not wanting, not being your kid's favorite
this point,
anymore and
I'll
things like that.
Whatever, dude.
I know.
Just
Again,
give
I
me
feel
more
like it
booze.
really puts that
You know?
into perspective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't bullshit you. Some gutter punk jump.
You're not
across,
listening to anything I say,
So I cut it down.
are you?
That's
Yeah.
only
What?
natural, but very
Yes, I am.
Cut me too.
The party.
Too
much
sex, guys. Are you okay?
much sex.
Shut up.
I was
Two
lucky.
peas in a pod, these ones.
I'll show you the battle scar.
It was so
sometime.
high last night. Is Sean jealous?
I'm gonna say keeping an eye. I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's my job. I'm his dad.
Just
You
keeping
be
an eye
careful
out.
with
You
knives,
know?
though,
Yeah.
Okay?
Just not trusting
Brother
Finn.
watching.
Hey,
And
who's
that.
the night
That's
master
cute.
here?
Did you lock the tent? What a sista personen där inne.
So,
Bra!
how do you feel?
Boo.
Who knew this little tree market snowflake would end up here?
Obligatory boo for the
With us
Swedes.
misfits.
The way they're presented as like so white as well. Like, not every Swedish person is blonde and that white, but like, my god. It's that thing of like, whenever, I think about this all the time, but like, there was like a tweet or something that was like, I inherently, like, blonde people shouldn't date each other. I specifically blonde white people shouldn't date each other.
Yeah,
and it's so
agreed.
true, because they
No,
just
I-
look related.
Yeah.
In a way that like brunettes or like other hair colors just don't of white people.
Yeah, I
It's-
hate it.
yeah.
My friend made me watch an episode of First Dates, which I'd never seen First Dates before.
I don't think I have.
Which, for people who don't know, it's like a British television show where people go on a first date and then they decide whether they want to keep seeing each other. And there were like 3 or 4 couples, and like it was quite interesting because one of the couples was like 2 teenage gay boys.
Yeah.
One of them was on their first date. Good for them. One of them was like a Black British man and woman, and they were so cute. Their chemistry was like fireworks through the screen. They were so
Yeah.
cute. I was so happy for them. and then there's this awkward couple that's like a vicar and an incel, and
Jesus.
and then the last couple was a blonde guy and a blonde woman, and I swear to God they were the same shade of blonde and the same shade of tan, and I was like, you cannot date. You cannot date.
It's
You
just
look
bad vibes.
related.
You look related.
like you look.
I
like
just feel
siblings.
like
I
if
hate
you
it.
are a blonde person, a blonde white person, you have to accept that you just can't date another blonde white person. Like I just think it's a
yeah,
rule that you
that
need
should
to
be the rules.
live by. Yeah.
That should be the rules, and this applies doubly for gay people because there's nothing.
Yes.
There's nothing that boils my blood more than when I see a gay couple and they look like twins.
Yeah.
Get a grip.
Grow up.
Grow up.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I feel? I feel like making more of a joke about it.
I don't know about the. What's the tone of turning into a dirty hippie?
Like I think it's like mocking Cass, I think. A little bit.
Okay, then maybe I could get behind that.
I felt more like that. I think that's more playful, right?
Are we deflecting?
Maybe.
Or are we being genuinely playful?
It's deflecting, yes, but
Yeah. Okay.
it's
let's
more
do
that I don't know if he wants to discuss it right now, you know?
Also, they're like right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine. Let's
All
take
good.
this out.
Just hope I won't turn into a dirty hippie if I hang around too long.
You better stop talking to me then. I'm the most contagious.
Please, don't hurt.
Too late. Guess I'll take the chance.
Hey, how about shut the fuck up back there? I can't hear my music.
Guess
Oh
what?
yeah, this music. It's popping.
He was on his secret sat phone again
Yeah,
this
you know what
morning.
I'm sad that we're gonna miss in this
Speaking
episode is the
Romanian and
montage
shit.
to DANCE.
Here it
Yeah.
comes.
It's a
That's so
banger.
fucking
He's
hard.
Agent 420, and he has a license to cook.
What's that?
Told you 1,000 times,
God,
Big Joe
so
is a
fucking
clone.
cringe.
They come from a factory in Silicon Valley.
Maybe he's just the factory reject.
Okay, just don't be so mean. It's right there.
Oh, Sean, are you crushing on Big Joseph? Oh, that is so sweet.
Sean loves Big Joe. Sean loves Big Joe.
I mean,
You're
they
all in
act
love with
like
Big Joe. You can't stop talking
kids.
about him, I
It has to be
swear.
said.
But his
They are
ass
like
is too
teenagers.
big.
Right on.
Come on.
It's also, again, like, it feels so... The fact that, like, Finn seems to always bring it back to Sean's sexuality somehow.
That's so true.
It's this, like, knowing, like, wink at him, I guess, in some ways. But he's weaponizing it every fucking time. I hate it. It's like this, I don't know, yeah. It's just, every time he's, like, using it as a way to, like, one-up him.
He's really like.
It's
He's
not
cover-
like, it's not like friendly recognition.
Yeah, no, he's covered in red flags. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like he comes on screen and Kill Bill sirens. I don't understand how people like him.
Yeah, yeah. It's just so manipulative. And, like, using that situation to make fun of Sean and then get Daniel to be involved in it. It's just...
And also, I know that we said that we're going to be on the lookout because we still don't know what their ages are, but it becomes even worse if they are, like, sexualizing a 16-year-old.
Yeah, and I mean...
like, quite a bit older than that.
Finn is definitely an adult. Like, he has wrinkles. Like, he's... Not wrinkles, but, like... He's got, like, crease lines. He's got, like under-eye bags and stuff. And not just in a way of, like, someone who's, like, lived a hard life. Like, he's definitely at least mid-20s, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think it's, like, hard to tell just from their faces because, like, I think sometimes trauma ages people
that's
in
true.
a way, like, physically ages people in a way that...
Yeah. He's definitely older than Daniel. Not Daniel.
It's
Definitely older than
something
Sean,
that-
anyway.
yeah, it's something that like people have been commenting on seeing a lot recently with the journalists, the very young journalists reporting in Gaza.
That's
Like
true,
over
yeah.
the past 3 months, like I saw a lot of people commenting on the fact that Motaz suddenly has a very callow face with not callow, sorry, like shallow looking
Yeah.
face. Callow is the opposite of what I mean.
Yes, no, I know what
callow,
you mean.
callow means youthful. I mean the opposite of that. And grey hair, like all over his beard and his head. And like in the space of 3 months, like he looks like several years older.
Yeah.
So I would struggle to comment based on that alone, but I don't know why I get the vibe that he's like in his 20s.
No, they definitely are older, I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah, they're implied to be in their early 20s. Hannah's definitely listed as 28. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I reckon it's early 20s probably. But yeah, it's just like, I think there is a way to, especially because he probably has guessed that or figured that Sean has a crush on him, right? I think there's a way to play, like, use that situation and kind of play with it and be nice, you know, kind of be like acknowledging but nice about it, and then there's whatever the fuck Finn is doing.
Yeah, it's manipulative, and honestly, like, I don't know, I feel really uncomfortable, not just about Sean's age, but also like Sean's age and his sexuality, and obviously the fact that, like, you know, because he's so young and hasn't had the chance to explore his sexuality yet, like Finn being the guy that he explores that with feels bad. But also I don't feel great about the way that Sean is sexualized because of his race and ethnicity as well.
Well, again, it's like the kind of combined adultification with like specific fetishization of racialized men, right?
Yeah.
And like particularly brown men in the way that he is.
Yeah,
like,
and I think like
in that way.
You know, like you know, there's also this, you know, racialized sexual trope of like Latinos in particular, right? As like, being like hypersexual or like very like passionate or quote unquote or whatever. Which 100%, there's definitely like an adultification and there as well.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel very uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just gross. Yep. And the fact he keeps doing it as well, it just really
hey, pipe down back there.
grosses me out.
Enjoy the scenery for a change, for fuck's sake.
And then again, like bringing Daniel in on that, like mocking as well.
Which is weird. And
it's just like everything that Finn does is so manipulative and just gross. Like, and he's not actually done anything technically that egregious yet, but he will.
No, but
these are all red flags.
They're all bad vibes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it has to be said that it's potentially uncomfortable that a pansexual / bisexual man, because we never get how he identifies himself, but being characterized in that way.
Yeah. So I'm just turning down the desktop audio a bit because it's quite loud.
Hey.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, just that. Just that I think that it's potentially uncomfortable to have like a bi / pansexual man being characterized in this way.
Yeah, I think that the way...
Which is not to say, obviously, that, you know, queer men can't also be awful, but I don't know.
I think it's as well when there's like not often very much specifically of men, there's not much bisexual / pansexual representation of men in general.
Yeah, this is the thing.
So for this to be like a rare example really it's not great, especially as someone who is more aware of his sexuality, or like knowledgeable of his sexuality than Sean is, right? Because Sean is just learning.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think that, like, I guess maybe if there was more representation of bi and pan men out there, which, you know, is something that really is quite severely lacking, and where it is present is, you know, often quite dicey.
yeah,
Then I think that exploring the fact that sometimes, like, white like G or B men can be pretty gross towards racialized men
yeah,
is definitely a thing. Like,
and
that's
that's
definitely a thing.
a real problem within like gay communities, like gay male communities specifically. Like, yeah. Yeah, no, that is interesting. I can't remember what happened for him to need to intervene.
Me neither. Sorry, guys.
I feel like...
Oh, I think that he's giving Cass shit for something.
Oh, okay. I feel like... I vaguely remember Cass being annoyed if he tries to intervene.
She isn't. I remember her being annoyed if you try to intervene, but a consideration of mine is, as we talked about earlier, the kind of behavior I'm modeling to Daniel.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I don't want to model to my son that you should just you know, do nothing when women are being harassed.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Hey, come on. That's not cool.
Are you really shit-talking me, Cheech? Huh?
Forget it, Sean. Seriously. We're late. Hey, you're gonna get us kicked out of here.
Well, I just wanted to.
What? Be a white knight? I can take care of myself, Sean.
Bro, that guy would have beat you down.
Oh, certainly not a white knight.
No.
Certainly a turn of phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And also just threw me back to Warren Graham.
Oh. Why? I mean, I know why, but no, I know why, but ugh. Why Warren Graham, not why did you say that?
No, we're sorry. We just...
You don't get paid to be late. Next time you won't be.
This Breaking Bad ass
Listen up. I need 2 teams today. Finn, Penny, Anders, and what's your name will clean up the mess from the storm. The rest of you get to sit and trim.
There was mess from a storm, eh?
Like I want to go pick up a bunch of shit all over the camp.
Hey, you want to trade places?
Shut up, Daniel.
You got a deal, kid.
Yeah! I get to go outside.
Hey! You guys still don't get it.
I enjoy Penny, but I don't
This
think that
is
any
work,
of them
not
are
a
behaving the way
goddamn
they should
summer
be around
camp.
a child.
No, not at all.
You're not special. There are dozens of
Which I
hippies like
think is,
yourselves begging for work
to
at the
this
next
rapid
town.
adultification.
Kid, your dad should teach you to shut your mouth. Finn, you better watch your guys.
Of course, boss. No problem.
Your dad.
Okay, so move it.
Yeah, you heard the man. Stop fucking around and get in your teams, all right?
Hold up. You and me are gonna talk.
It's interesting that he called him his
Remember,
dad.
I'm only letting you and your brother work here because Finn put in a good word.
I know. We really appreciate it.
I thought
Thanks.
it meant,
no asking.
as in your dad should have taught
Just
you,
watch
as in
out.
he doesn't know his dad's
Next time your
dead.
brother fucks up,
I
you
thought he
both
said
are
your dad
ASAP.
should teach you.
I'm not trying to bust
But then he
your balls,
does call
but
him his
this is a
brother,
pop
so
song. He's a fucking
he
kid.
knows that that's his brother. I don't know.
You hear
Who
me?
knows?
This fucking lecture is such bullshit, right? You shouldn't be bringing a kid on a weed farm. I don't have a fucking choice.
No!
Like,
Maybe,
I'm homeless.
like, you hired us, bitch! Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, honestly hate Meryl. He fucking sucks. But
Yeah.
I do think it's really funny that Meryl is like literally a copy and paste of that one guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I haven't watched Breaking Bad, but I know who you mean. Yeah.
I think his name is Gus, but he's the one that's also in Far Cry 6. Who's like this very austere, like,
Right, yeah, no, I know the actor. He's been in some stuff as well that I've seen. So yeah, no, I know who you mean. Yeah.
Like, he looks literally exactly like
They've obviously didn't have to go too far for that inspiration.
except with like a beard.
Yeah. I'm not gonna thank him. I'm just gonna say got it.
Got it, yeah.
Got it. I'll keep him out of the way.
Yeah.
You better. This business has enough shit already.
I'm not gonna ask. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
Not my
Fuck
problem.
You. Don't fucking care, buddy.
Don't give a
Gonna
shit.
Go check on him then.
How old is he anyway?
Oh, 9. He's 9 years old.
Jeez, tough age. Gotta keep a close eye on him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you know all about it. Again, I don't really want to be having this conversation, so I think I'm just trying to get out of it. So I'm just going to be like, yeah, not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Not an easy thing to do out here.
I know. Ain't no place for children. That's why I keep mine in New York.
Okay.
Isn't that hard?
Of course it is.
Great
But
advice,
it won't be
buddy.
forever.
Well done.
Really
Okay,
helpful.
I'm not your buddy. Get the fuck out of here. We got a lot of work to do today.
Yeah, well, you're the one who's just been fucking lecturing me.
Dickhead.
Okay, now I've got to remember how to do this mini game.
I was gonna say, I can't wait to see you do a weed minigame.
I think I
Hey.
did quite well at it last time, but I can't remember now.
Now for the fun part. I need this all done by tonight. No excuses. So, get on it.
Fuck this guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we good?
Finn is playing boss with his crew. I told them they'd all work late if they didn't finish on time.
I hope so. Okay, I gotta make some calls.
Finn's playing boss.
Well,
Mm.
what are you waiting for?
The
You
weed
know the
minigame is
drill.
great.
It is,
actually.
yeah, solid minigame.
Really, really good content.
Dude, this sucks
I would
ass.
say that the weed
feel like
minigame
I'm
and the
in
LARP
prison.
are some of the strongest
Yeah.
to come out of the franchise. I would engage with his feelings.
Yeah.
I hear you. But we're not. This is just our job, man. We have to follow Meryl's rules. For now. Especially you.
What do you mean?
He's not into having kids around here. So don't give him any excuse to get pissed off.
Yeah, you never know with Meryl. He can be cool, but scary when he loses his shit.
When is he cool,
Okay,
Cass?
jeez.
Yeah,
Not doing anything
I've
bad.
never seen him be cool.
I know you guys are having the time of your life here, but I'm not. So shut your mouth and give me some quiet, for fuck's sake, okay?
Well, why do you stick around then?
None of your damn business. But I'd be long gone if I had the chance. Trust me.
Okay.
Alright, man.
Let's
Just
go.
kick the butt and get to it.
You can do this.
Shit.
I love
Ow.
how he acts like Sean has
I
a
hate
home to
these
put
scissors.
Daniel in, like, due to their homeless. Yeah, for real. Like, where are they meant to go?
Okay, I'm going to be very quiet and concentrating for the next however long, so
You got this.
thank you.
Gotta be more focused.
Oh, I bet it's so sticky.
More people blaming Sean for the circumstances, yeah.
Look at all these buds.
Oh, this is nothing. Last spring we were trimming about 2 or 3 pounds
It's
a
a
day.
bit of a theme.
Whoa. That's a lot.
Yep. Had to work overnight all the time. 15 hours straight once. Yeah, trying to forget.
You're doing
How
great. Moral
done
support
Kush
from the
after
chat.
that.
Thank you.
Whoa.
You're
We
doing
are
very good.
lucky.
Thank
Right,
you.
and then
Pro
your arms
gamer.
fall off. Fuck all
Pro
that.
weed
Trimmer.
trimmer.
We all know this. I'm in the wrong job.
Weed pile.
You
I don't know,
got
it looks
any
kind of
reception, Big Joe?
This kind
This place is a
of
cell
manual
killer.
work can be.
Of course.
I think I'd find it quite therapeutic if it weren't for the scenario that they're in.
Yeah, the scenario is horrible, and obviously they shouldn't have to rely on work to survive. But you know, if I was just trimming weed for fun,
Yeah, for funsies.
it looks like a good time.
Yeah. Oh god, I bet they get so sticky, those scissors. Oh.
Yeah. I you know that Dontnod knows what they're talking about when it comes to weed.
Yep.
Ooh. You okay, sweetie?
Weed trim
It's okay.
percentage WR
Oh.
You're doing
holder.
fine. Just slow down if you need to.
I know. I will. Thanks, Sean.
They've done extensive research. Yeah.
They've been doing research for so long as well. They're really dedicated to their research.
Dontnod crew was road tripping across America to do research, quote unquote, for this game, and what they were
My
really
ass
doing
hurts.
is
Fuck, this is
driving
really
up
boring.
the
Oh, poor
coast of
baby.
America and getting
That's
real
the job.
stoned.
Yeah, trying all the different
Just-
varieties.
Oh, okay. Just don't ask me to smile for the camera all day long.
Feels like working in a factory. Imagine doing this for years.
See? Sean agrees with
Because
me.
it kind of
As
is like working
always.
in a factory.
This is fun at first, but it does start to get old after a while.
How about stop bitching so much? Sean, you're already on Meryl's shit list. Don't get us all kicked out of here. Just sit and trim.
I'm trimming.
I
I don't know, I
this
feel
is
like
a central part of every LAS game.
it's also a part of True Colours, because Charlotte's shop,
Yeah.
the dispensary.
Every life is
What?
Life is high.
What's wrong with my hair?
I was
Are
gonna
you
say
kidding
life is
me?
high,
It's
but I was
hiding your
like,
pretty
is that what-
face.
Life is
high on life.
Come on.
ganj.
It's not that bad. Just
I'm never saying that again.
Yes. Worry not.
Life is
We've got everything to take care of it.
I was trying to think of something that like actually worked with the word
we'll
strange.
see.
We're gonna clip this bit. We're gonna do some stupid little editing.
Ah. Sorry, I'm just concentrating very hard right now.
Can't wait for the essay. The one
Oh,
thing
shit.
that connects all Life is Strange games. Weed.
But for
Weed.
real, though, if you could
Power and
snap
weed.
your fingers and go anywhere. Cassidy, we get it. Over and over. You don't want to be here.
Give me a break. I can't.
So what? So I'm allowed to dream a little? You won't get hurt. Promise. What about Louisiana? Must be so sweet this time of year.
Okay, man.
Come on. Dream big. I'd like to see the pyramids. Or the top of Mount Fuji.
Sean Diaz, global traveler.
Yeah. Stuck in Humboldt.
No.
Bitch. Nobody's making you babies work here. You guys are all the same. Cool, let's be trimmigrants. Then you barely work for a month.
Oh gosh,
This
shut the fuck
is
up.
my life.
Trimmigrants.
Shit. It's always something.
Damn.
Gee, I
you
wonder
folks
why
put a lid
people's
on it?
working
We got shit to do
circumstances
here.
are insecure.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Down. Easy for you to say, cowgirl. Some of us have to work. Please. I bust my ass like everybody else.
Uh-huh. Don't even. You're always looking for an excuse.
Ooh, it's 420. Hey, Sean, let's talk. Ow, my arm hurts.
Wah wah. Get off my crack, Hannah. We've been stuck out here for 2 months. I didn't come out to California to live on a fucking farm.
Hannah's
I want
calling
to
it
see
like
some
it is.
water.
Yeah,
Gonna
she's
stay
not
out here
wrong.
forever? Build a house? What?
Stop.
Put that white girl in her
You
place.
know we voted to
Yeah,
stay for a while.
real.
Once it's legal, we ain't got no more job here.
Okay, so they are trying to have a system. It's notable that they like
just over this
vote
place.
and they try to
Then go.
distribute chores,
Take the
but they're
fuck
not.
off.
That's all they've
We're a
got.
family.
Yeah.
We stick
They,
together.
there needs to be
You're on the bus.
more.
Get
Yeah.
off the bus.
Hey, everybody chill. Let's not get...
Sean, step back. This is our business. Just
I
grow
also
up,
don't know about
Cassidy.
voting. I think if I was in a
acting like a
commune like this,
princess.
I would
Thanks,
want
Mom.
consensus.
Oh,
Anything else?
Yeah. But we don't have the time.
Did you fall out of the wrong side of the tent or what?
That's not my
Shit.
problem.
You're
Vincent.
clueless.
You know the drill. Do your work. Yeah. Sure.
whew.
This shit.
You're doing great.
Ugh.
Hannah,
You did
I know.
it!
Hey, I don't want to fight.
Oh,
It's been a long, happy week.
Just keep it fucking
that's the most closer training I've done in like a week.
You did great. Professional weed trimmer.
That's me. That's what they all say about me. Gotta just be shit if you were left-handed here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Doubt they've got left-handed weed trimming scissors.
Yeah, true.
I'm lucky I use my scissors with my right hand. Oh, his hand
You got that.
hurts.
Got that right hand privilege. Yeah.
Well,
your
I'm
hand will keep
technically-
cramping up from that.
So I'm an ambidextrous actually.
Oh really?
Yeah,
You're
sort
a
of.
little clown.
Some things I do with my right hand and some with my left, but mostly I write with my left.
It's
So
not as bad as you think.
I consider myself
Other farms in
left-handed.
the area is just
Get away from
straight
him.
down exploit your ass. You gotta be careful with those scissors. They're sharp as fuck.
Yeah, he knows. He's been doing this like a month.
Oh, you'll get scars, but you'll get it. Part of the fun.
Well, you think you're not
Ain't
being exploited?
sexier.
Stop flirting with Sean. I'm gonna
Stop.
bite you.
Oh. So, did you have a good day at work, honey?
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I don't want to tell him about the family clash because that's not my business. So I might just say the girls are cool. Because I don't want to give him another excuse to
Actually,
tear
I'm
us
fine.
apart.
Kaz and
Yeah,
Hannah
yeah.
crack me up.
Go for it.
They're like sisters.
Yeah. They love to start shit with each other. Then get high. Short-term memory loss.
I don't really care how his day was.
Mm-mm.
I might just start talking about Cass. I might just be like, oh, wow, Cass is
Yeah,
so
just-
great.
Let's just talk about how much we like Cass.
Cass is great.
Can't sit on my ass for more than an hour.
Yeah. Always
Do you
been
think
this
Cass
way.
likes
Like
me?
these sharks.
Yeah.
in life that stop moving, you know?
I was the same at school. So glad we're out here now.
Uh-huh.
Are you?
No wonder she digs you. So do I.
Ew.
You're a good fit for the family.
You totally hooked us up. A job, cash, friends, safety.
I can think of nothing
Sure.
more heinous than a threesome.
Everybody's cool with you
Cass
too.
and
Worst blunt rotation ever.
Finn. Nightmare blood rotation.
Oh, God. No, oh, dear. I'm...
Daniel is your
When we
secret
get to the
weapon.
next
I
kind
don't
of
know. He's
interactive
way too young for
bit,
this
can we have a
bullshit.
quick snack?
You
Yeah,
gotta
of
be
course.
zen about this. The more you try and
Kill.
control him, the less you have. It's deep, huh?
No.
Swear, he acts just like me. That's how I
Yeah,
know
but
he's
you also
smart.
can't just
And
not have
he's
any
also got a
boundaries.
kick-ass hermano. Yeah.
Hermano!
Like that.
Shut the fuck up. It pisses me off. Like, why are you doing that?
Gonna fight that man. Should we pause now?
I'm happy to get to the end of this
Okay.
scene.
I don't care about his story. I'm gonna talk about Daniel.
Maybe. He doesn't listen to me
Yeah,
anymore.
go for it.
Don't worry. You're in your new group. He's trying to fit in on his own. Bet you're doing it too. Mm-hmm. Trying to be your own person. Not just Daniel's big brother.
Sure. But I try to be both, you know?
You're a good guy, Sean Diaz. You just need to trust yourself more. I know. Losing your family is tough. But the world is yours to create a new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was pretty sheltered growing up, but now I'm starting to totally love
Okay, I
seeing
mean,
the world.
I would think that messages of queer
Well,
family might be more powerful.
Going
if
to
you were acting like
Mexico is
anything
the
like the way you're
ultimate
acting.
road trip.
Yep.
But also, like,
If we make it there, dude, who knows?
what was I gonna say?
It's
I was
pretty
gonna
scary.
say I feel
So fucking
like
far.
this also
It
feels
is.
manipulative
But
to me because
you have
what he's
time
saying
and
and
a
the way he's
strong
acting are
God.
completely.
Yeah. It's like when Daniel's not there, he's like, oh, you
Nothing
know,
to
you'll
stop
be
you from
okay,
going
you're
there.
doing great, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, the second
will
Daniel's there, it's like constantly
Be all
undermining
right,
him.
Sean,
Yeah, literally.
don't worry. Okay. Therapy's over.
Oh, yeah. I gotta move those water tanks for the shower and stuff.
It's cool. You're doing your part, Sean.
Finally. Glad I can help.
So, Hannah, how long ago did you come here to Humboldt for work?
Humboldt.
9 years. I left Santa Fe because it was hell. No money.
Sorry, Faye. I because I can't hear it. I am potentially not being very good at.
Yeah, sorry. We
dialogue.
can we can pause after. Pause during discourse a bit more. Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna get a snack. Should we take a quick break?
Yeah. Okay, well,
Okay,
I'm doing
I
this
think-
now.
Yeah, it's too late. But I think if you just do one and then put off the other one, you'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Let's get these over to the kitchen and shower.
Can't actually remember where the kitchen is. I feel like it's this way. Oh, I mean, this is the kitchen.
Yeah, it's the tent with the.
Oh, Daniel's doing washing up.
I'm so proud because.
That's
he
a good
wasn't
thing,
doing
because
his-
sometimes he doesn't, yeah.
Last episode he didn't do his chores and we were really shocked and horrified.
Yeah.
We were like, why isn't he doing his chores? Well, I'm glad that we've somehow managed to fix that situation. Should we offer to help? Or ask for help?
I'm trying to think.
I think we should help him with his chores. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's a kid.
Need 2 more hands, Dishmaster?
And also, it's,
yeah.
again, modeling behavior
That'd be
offer
cool.
to help.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
So boring.
Yeah. I don't miss doing the dishes.
Then why are we doing?
Also, I don't know about you, but I hate doing the dishes.
I'm the bane of Chris's life. Read dishes.
I love cooking. I hate doing
Yeah,
dishes.
hate cleaning up.
You need a hand
that's
with your
me.
own chores.
That'd be awesome.
Aww,
I need help moving the last water tank.
he's
I get that
helping.
This shit is so
Yeah.
heavy.
But I'm happy about
I'll wait
that.
for you near the water tank.
We
So
did
we can
it. We're
finish
good parents.
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, he's waiting for us near the water tank so we can go dick around for a bit.
Yeah, parenting
Weirdly,
win.
didn't see any bears.
Let's
with all
go
that trash
spy
lying around.
on the tents
Yeah.
and talk to people.
It is nicer here than other places we saw. Too many junkies and homeless.
They go together sometimes.
No, they're gonna have a quite interesting conversation.
1 more tank to handle. Then I'll be done with this.
We see so much trash in the forests around here. California is very green, but starting to look like shit.
Not everybody has time to fucking recycle or compost their shit. Especially when you live off the grid.
We all should try. It's everybody's planet too.
Sweden is not perfect, but we try to be more eco-conscious. We only have one planet.
Yeah, apart from that whole colonizing.
I think you both are missing the point, guys. Hannah wasn't talking about the environment. When you don't have any food or roof, you're not gonna recycle or eat only organic.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Tourists talking shit again. Like you guys have it so hard.
She's right.
We did not say that we did.
She's
Tell me
right.
again how many hours you spent on a plane during your awesome trip around the world.
Okay.
And then you come crying about hobos spreading garbage in the forest.
Good point.
Now you're
Very good
here
point.
sponging off us trash on an illegal pot farm with a tourist visa, lecturing us.
Get
Funny,
wrecked.
right?
Hannah, I'm sorry. We were not trying to lecture you. We are grateful we found that job and that you let us stay in the camp with you guys.
Well, that's the fastest potato peeling I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, honestly.
Don't worry. You know if
I like
hated
veg
you.
chopping,
All
but
I care
peeling
about is my
potatoes is
family
not
right
my
here.
favorite.
These 3 gutter punks. The rest, none of my business. Not used to peeling potatoes, huh? A lot of work.
I know how to cook, just not everything yet.
Yeah, but you hate it. You want a pizza, watch TV. I can tell. Like those kids who come through here all psyched, and they have to bust ass, and they're gone.
Yeah, I mean, there are points where she doesn't.
Yeah, this was why I had like mixed
Yeah,
feelings.
that's fair.
Because I think that like I understand where she's coming from, and she's got like good political takes about a lot of things, but I think that she's quite judgy and shitty to Sean for like
Yeah.
no reason.
Like, the Swedish people, I'm all for her being judgy and shitty to them, but...
Yeah, I mean, she makes a lot of assumptions about Sean based on, like, nothing. Like, why does she think that him and his, like, tiny brother are homeless? Like, what? But, what I would add to the previous conversation is that, like, you know, a lot of... I think, like, a lot of people, I think in the first place, like, what we mean when we talk about like Sweden being more eco-conscious and stuff is something that I think people should be critical about, because I think sometimes we take it for granted. But in the first place, like you know, there's a conversation to be had about like how climate crisis can only be stopped if we abolish like colonialism and capitalism. And like I think that green capitalism and green colonialism are like a helpful way of thinking about that narrative around places like Sweden.
Yeah.
Because like this narrative that places like Sweden are more eco-conscious just because they have like more recycling and stuff like that, or bike lanes and things is really stupid. But I think that Hannah gets to the heart of a lot of that. But I mean, often it's like the poorest countries in the world that produce the least waste and the least greenhouse gases.
Exactly.
Well,
I mean, if we're talking about Sweden, like obviously they have white people have colonized Sweden, right? A lot of it. So you have like the Sami people who are the native people of that land who probably have a very low carbon footprint, if you want to get technical about that. But obviously the people who have invaded are the people who are the ones who are needing to do the environmental stuff TM, because they're the ones who caused the problem in the first place. So
yeah, and there's so much to be said for how like white liberal environmentalists, like they don't view the problem on a structural level.
No.
So there are these like band-aid solutions, but then also like they have a holier than thou like white supremacist attitude about it. It's
this like, oh well, everyone has to be doing what we're doing, as if they are doing the best thing ever. It makes me think of a lot of like I think we've talked a bit with off stream about like it's really been frustrating to see a lot of the more vocal like climate activists be completely silent when it comes to Palestine. Even though like what Israel is doing is environmentally horrendous, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But you know, you've got these people who have been doing like, you know, marches and stuff for Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil, but like when it comes to an actual like, when it comes to something that isn't just about like polar bears, it's suddenly silent, you know?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because that discourse came up a lot because of how Greta Thunberg was speaking up about Palestine, and then a lot of people were reacting very badly to that. But
they were like, "Don't make it political," as if environmentalism isn't political.
Yeah, and as if like colonialism isn't like directly responsible for the ongoing like degradation of the planet. I mean, like the Zionist project, like from day one, has been invested not only in environmental devastation. So, for example, like from 1948, like during the Nakba, and to this day, like we're talking about burning olive groves, bulldozing houses, salting the earth, like all these sorts of practices.
Ruining the oceans around.
Yeah.
And obviously
like,
now white phosphorus, that's like an environmental disaster.
Yeah, to not even mention the environmental effects of like bombing and chemical warfare and things like that. But also this has been connected from day one to greenwashing, because I don't know how much you know about like the Make the Desert Bloom thing. Is that something that you've heard before? So Zionism has always talked about this idea that like the Zionist project can quote unquote make the desert bloom. So it's had this narrative basically that Palestinians are stupid and backwards and unable to tend to their own land, and that because of the superior agricultural practices of the white European settlers, they will make the desert bloom. So that's always been like part of the narrative, and in 1948 onwards, quite notoriously after, you know, mass deforestation and depopulation of villages and destruction of land, the Jewish National Fund, or JNF, built pine trees and national parks over destroyed Palestinian villages, partly to hide that they had destroyed Palestinian villages, but also to perpetuate this narrative that they were making the desert bloom. But pine trees are an invasive species in Palestine.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not native to Palestine, so what benefit would that have?
Yeah, and
other than them being green all year round, which means that they can show off that they have planted trees there all year round.
Yeah, exactly. As if olive trees and oak trees, which are native to Palestine, aren't green.
Yeah.
But, also, ironically, a lot of white European settlers trying to tend the land found that the European agricultural practices that they knew weren't relevant, and a lot of them would end up turning back to Palestinians anyway and kind of like stealing their knowledge.
Yep. That checks out.
Yeah, but it's something like the greenwashing of Israel is something that continues to this day in various forms. And I mean, we were having a conversation the other day about like Israeli like vegan products. Companies.
So for my work, I went to like a plant-based expo recently, and it was like when I think it was probably like roughly a month after October the 7th, and I was checking to make sure I wasn't like trying or platforming any brands that were Israeli, and there were like 3 different fake meat brands, like vegan meat brands, all doing like fucking 3D printed nonsense at this expo. It's very it's that particular like greenwashing of, we are finding plant-based alternatives to meat, but we're also, you know, causing environmental devastation, not just in Palestine, but all around us. pretty much.
Yeah, 100%. Like, one really good example of that is water, right? Like, Israeli settlements are basically have all of the regional water redirected towards them,
Yeah.
and are notorious for like horrendous water overconsumption.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're forcing Palestinians and, in fact, people of surrounding countries like Jordan to live in water poverty.
Yeah.
And so in Gaza, like, people are only, you know, even before the events of October 7th and the ensuing genocide, like, people were only allowed to take water from like one aquifer in Gaza, because, like, you know, as a lot of people have heard now, things like building wells and collecting rainwater are outlawed for Palestinians by Israel, which is shocking. But anyway, obviously, like, people living in Gaza need clean water, right? So that's resulted in overpumping of this one aquifer as well, because, like, what are they supposed to do? And then, you know, Israel goes around being like, we have these beautiful national parks and we make vegan meat.
Yeah.
You know, we are literally like destroying the environment.
Yep.
And then obviously,
and they're burning olive trees. They're like destroying the land. Native people don't destroy land generally. As a rule of thumb.
Yeah. Generally speaking, that tends to be the case, right?
Yep. So, yep. But yeah, no, definitely the environmentalism conversation is very relevant to Israel.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I might just say you don't know me, because she doesn't, and like she's making a lot of assumptions. And I don't want to be hostile, which maybe that is, but also...
Yeah, it's tricky because she is being really unfair right now, and I think that it would be very justified to have like a reaction to that, which is like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah. I think as well, though, from what the vibe I get from Hannah is not necessarily that she's a bad person, but that she is... I mean, obviously seeing, like, her and Cass interact, like, she is the kind of person who, like, debates a lot, or, like, kind of quite, like, challenges people a lot, I guess.
Yeah,
and it's not necessarily a hostile thing for her, or in her mind it's not a hostile thing, but, like, yeah, it can come off quite abrasive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she's a bad person at all,
No.
but I think that it, you know, what we were talking about earlier in terms of, like, communication skills.
Yeah.
I think that, like, you know,
Hannah could learn some.
A lot of people need to be better equipped at like initiating and engaging in conflict, but some people cause conflict for no reason.
Yeah.
And I think that Hannah is in a place where there is no issue, she creates an issue. And
Yeah.
she's making like assumptions about people unfairly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that comes from like a place of whatever trauma she's experienced, but that, you know, it still sucks, and it's still something that
Yeah.
she would need to,
especially when Sean is younger than her by about 12 years, I think.
Yeah, there's that too.
She's 28, so...
As a 28-year-old woman, you don't really have any reason to be this shitty to a teenage
No.
boy who's just lost his home.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna go with You Don't Know Me.
Sure.
I don't know if it comes out aggressive or not.
Thanks.
Let's find out.
You have no clue who I am, or the shit I've been through.
I know. We all got scars of our own. I just fucking hate phonies. Too many here. Crusty backpack doesn't make you one of us.
Alright, Holden Caulfield. Phonies.
It has to be intentional, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least she took it.
Yeah. I can't remember what she just said. Yeah, why do you have beef with a 16-year-old? So true. So
Also,
true.
Yeah, you haven't suffered like I suffered, but she doesn't know that. It's very true.
Yeah. I can't remember what she just said.
Me neither. So, but I'm sure that it won't do any harm to ask a question.
Well, what do I gotta do to pass initiation?
Don't be a pussy. Stand up for us. You can't be part of our family unless you open up. This is a family too. not a pit stop. Out in the wild, sharing is caring.
My brother comes first, I think. He's a child.
So it's tricky because I think that if this is a conversation that I would want to handle in a different way from either of these options, because, like, yes, taking care of Daniel would be my priority, but, like, you know, with conversation with Daniel about whether there's something that he wants as well, like, I think that being invested in, like, a family or a community like this could be a really good thing for them. However, that would also require them all being ready to look after Daniel in the way that he needs to be looked after, which
they're not.
Nobody has really, like, shown the willingness or initiative to do yet. So I think that there would need to be a lot more conversation about those things, but we can't do that. So in light of that, I think that it makes sense to just say, like, my brother comes first. But
I hear you, but my brother comes first. Always.
That's good. Shows you're not a selfish prick. That way too many.
Thanks, Hannah, I guess.
yeah, I do understand where she's coming from. I think that, again, though, this is a good example of how, like, we need to be developing social skills in order to build community effectively.
You don't have to tell me, but how did you end up on the road?
My community was a mess. Too much wasted talent. My mom, she was an artist and a drunk. Tried to get her into rehab countless times.
I find it odd that she just put her hand on his leg.
I realized she was just returning everything to Z-Mark to get the cash back to buy her booze. I just knew I had to get the fuck out, or that curse would get me too.
I'm glad you're at peace now. So, how did you hook up with the others?
Met Finn at some squat when he got out of jail. Young punk, but old soul. We just clicked. Then we ran into Cassidy a year ago, pissed at everything. Hurt, unable to commit to anything, except us. Then Pennywise found us, here in Humboldt, tripping about his friend Jinx. But, you know, he just fit in. Now we're all pretty fucking tight.
Hell yeah, you are. It's awesome. So, are you satisfied with your life now?
I'm grateful for what I have, yeah. Not everything is perfect, but we got balance, prospects. That's way more than I had before.
Thanks for taking the time to talk, Hannah. That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, didn't mean to grill you, Sean. It was a long day.
Wow.
Yeah, she's alright.
She's alright. She's
She's
just
rough around the edges, but
don't fuck with
she means well.
Yeah.
But I think if I was going to be in community with Hannah, we would need to talk about some things.
I'm gonna do some drawing. And I'm not gonna draw Finn.
Draw. Oh, do you get to draw one of them?
I feel like you definitely get to focus on one of them more. Yeah. I was like, no, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not drawing him.
Take the pen, dude.
Yeah, I don't think that we even talked about what we were gonna do, like, romance-wise.
I
but
like
we
how
both
Cassidy.
just
I feel like we don't
so
need
much.
to. We don't need to discuss it. We know.
Yeah, we didn't need to discuss it.
Especially in regards to Daniel and like how that works out.
Yeah, I also I know that there's a lot of like issues for sure, but I did kind of just feel like
Can we just do neither?
yeah, but I feel like if I had to pick one, which
Man, you
obviously,
are so focused when you draw. That's cute.
Yeah. Thanks.
Sorry.
Let me be the judge.
Whoa, give it back, please. Cassidy, do not even look.
Whoa, down boy. Really, Sean?
I didn't mean to freak.
Stop this tortured artist shit. Share it. Come on. Fuck. You're good. Wow. I look happy. Like I belong here.
Yeah, there's a better way to go about
I love
that.
how you see me, Sean.
Yeah.
I look cooler as a sketch.
Really?
But the intention was good.
Yeah.
Think it's okay?
No, I'm just being nice. If it was bad, you would know. I don't lie. Well, I could never draw
I think that.
What's your secret?
I think that the thing is that there's obviously issues, and she's obviously rough around the edges in her own way. But I actually like Cassidy.
Me too. Yeah, I think she's an actual likable person who cares enough about the right things.
Yeah, and is doing her best in the circumstances. Like, and you know, shock horror, you can, you know, like someone and not agree with everything that they do, and you can like disagree or want to be like, yo, you need to stop doing that thing. But I think that, like, in terms of the romance, so I don't know if I don't think I've talked about this like on the channel and stuff before. So the first time I played this game, like, I legit did not pick up on the fact that Finn was a love interest.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I just didn't pick up on that at all. Which, yeah, I don't know, maybe like in retrospect, I now am always noticing like the ways in which she's like flirting and things, but the first time I played this game, like when it first came out, like I just didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
P has opinions.
And I think that there's certainly a way in which like the chapter is oriented, and not even just the chapter, because episode 2 as well is oriented towards like Cass as more as like a possible love interest. But I think that also like there's it actually feels like there's some actual chemistry.
It feels, yeah, like it feels very real, I think, and it feels very
regardless of
organic.
Regardless of the very real issues that can and should be spoken about. It's, yeah, like it actually feels like there's something there that is likable.
Yeah.
And about her as a person, and also about like their relationship in comparison to Finn as a character and the relationship between Finn and Sean.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's so interesting. I mean,
sorry,
it's something.
One's out.
It's okay.
I'll be right back.
It's okay. I can fill. I think it's interesting because despite the fact that Life is Strange games, oh my gosh, she's so loud. Despite the fact that Life is Strange games are like famously pro-bisexual, this game, the frustrating thing that I don't love about this game is the fact that to be canonically bisexual, you have to romance Finn, and you have to specifically romance Finn and not like a different man, basically. Yeah, and I mean with Finn, like you don't actually, I mean you might kiss, I think, but I don't think you have sex with him, which makes sense. Yeah. Like I feel like that makes a lot of sense in terms of like if Sean's not that knowledgeable about gay sex, for instance, like fair enough, it's probably not like something he's ready for, let's put it that way. But yeah, you can have Sean say he likes guys without kissing Finn.
Yeah, so
is this the conversation I haven't had yet?
Yeah, so we are going to have that conversation, so it might be like worth having more sexuality discourse then, but I definitely think that we should talk more about that.
I don't love that it's Finn specifically, and that the choice to do anything queer is to do something that is damaging to Daniel. basically, in summary.
Yeah, 100%. And it's interesting because, like, I feel like you can almost say the opposite of Life is Strange in that, like, the relationship and the connection and the chemistry and everything between Max and Chloe is, like, so much.
Yeah.
And then you have
Warren, who's, like, not an option. Like,
he's, like, not really an option. And I think that my feeling about it, like, I feel like it, you know, ever since you changed my world and said that Max Caulfield was a lesbian.
that's if I've done anything good in this world. That's my legacy.
It just makes, like, it made everything, like, fall into place, right? Because, like, there's no way that feels like a viable, like, you know, bisexual girl, like, dating a guy option.
No.
And yeah, so it's almost like the opposite in Life is Strange, which is interesting. And then I don't know, it's funny because I think that True Colors was potentially trying to be more neutral and more balanced.
Yes. However, you hate Ryan so much.
Like, the thing is, okay, like, I personally hate Ryan, and I don't think that enough people hate Ryan. I also don't think enough people hate Warren.
True.
But I think the problem is that not enough people hate men. But
yes, I think
that, like,
I
just to finish that, like, I feel like the chemistry between Alex and Steph makes so much more sense to me, and the Ryan and Alex relationship feels, like, kind of weird and awkward in comparison.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think for me, playing it initially, like, when I played it the first time, I was a bit like, ooh, I was like, obviously Steph, but, like, and I do feel like the game is definitely more favourable to Steph in that, like, if you've played all the Life is Strange games, you already know Steph.
Yeah.
So, like, that's
and
always going to be more
bonus
favourable.
Episode, and she's got, like,
yeah,
content.
Yeah. Like, it clearly favours her, but also, again, I think that the problem is Ryan's behaviour is so gendered in that, like, the way he expresses his grief is so gendered, the way he centers his own pain when it's Alex's brother who's died. Like, there's all these things where it's like, it's his behavior. Like, him as a person could in theory be fine. I think it's just his behavior throughout the game makes things
it's
tricky.
So shitty. And it makes you feel like you don't want for Alex to be in a relationship with that guy, because that guy would not treat her the way that she needs to be
and I feel like it's almost like we're not seeing Ryan during a favourable time, but it's also he's not very developed in the game, frankly. Like, I really don't think he is that developed in the game. I don't think we know enough about him. I think there was a potential that he could have been a really interesting character, and, like, I actually think, especially, like, the stuff with his family, like his hero worship of his dad, and then, like, unpacking that and breaking that down, like, again, I think if that game had got to be more developed, I think Ryan could have been a really interesting character. I don't think in its current state he's an option.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, and I think it's a shame, because I think that it could have been a really...
And it would have been nice to have, like, a more even-handed choice, you know? I know bisexuality is not a choice, etc., but...
it
would have been interesting as especially in terms of the legacy of Life is Strange, for them to actually do it.
Dontnod and Deck 9 both said, we will not give you a single good.
No. But it's also like, I mean, the thing that Dontnod and Deck 9 do is acknowledge that male privilege exists, right? And that a lot of, especially young men, because, I mean, most of the men in these games are, in fact, all the men in these games are under 25, probably don't have the, like, in like the capacity and haven't learned enough to be better. Especially, they're all white men, aren't they? All the love interests are white.
The love interests are white men.
Yeah.
In every single.
Yeah, I mean, like, people
thing.
like Gabe. Gabe is, like, a good man, but he's not a love interest for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But, like,
Wow.
yeah. So, again, maybe, yeah. They just, like, basically Dontnod and Deck 9 just want to say, white men, don't trust them. Which I respect and love.
Well, and I think that all of the love interests full stop are white, which is interesting.
That's true, yeah. Yeah.
I have a lot of feelings about that, but yeah, I don't know. I think that the Steph-Alex relationship is
Who the fuck is Michael?
Good vibes for me though, because I feel like if Alex is gonna date a white girl, then Steph is a pretty solid white girl to date.
Yeah. Who's Michael?
Who's Michael?
Oh, from Tell Me Why. Okay, I was specifically talking about Life is Strange games, but yes, yeah.
That's not a Life is Strange game, but
yeah,
that's fair. I feel for Steph and Alex, the journey and relationship feels more natural and maybe even effortless, but Ryan and Alex get close after a very traumatic event for both. Yeah, I think I can understand that on a level. I think that with Ryan and Alex, though, it feels like not only do I struggle with the fact that it doesn't feel like Ryan is there for Alex the way that Alex is there for Ryan. And that's like that's very gendered and very unhealthy for Alex, but also that like beyond them both like loving Gabe and sharing a traumatic experience, I wouldn't really know what connected them.
Yeah, they don't have much
feel they have any chemistry.
They don't have much in common either. Like,
yeah,
they just kind of, yeah. I can see them like being friends, but like, kind of only because they are in a small town together, like.
Yeah, like because I've done the Ryan romance because I put myself through.
You
the
did.
Ryan romance
You did.
To make the video essay, and it just feels like a bit like awkward and
yeah,
a bit like out of place, like. Nothing about him and his interests and his dreams. Like, the rooftop scene?
Yeah.
That you have for both of the love interests? The rooftop scene for Ryan and Alex feels so weird because he's talking about all of these dreams of, like, wanting to go hiking and living in a small town for the rest of his life. And, like, I'm just sat there like, I don't know. Like, that doesn't sound good. Like... That
doesn't sound like Alex either. Like... I don't know.
Yeah,
again, like... she doesn't really, like, when does she express an interest for hiking? Like, again, like, they don't have interests in common, and they don't really have chemistry, and it's just sort of a bit,
Yeah.
Like, his character, my problem is, his character design is my type, but I then, halfway through the game, was like, I can't do this to myself, no.
Oh,
but this is...
So you started it and you were like, oh, he's cute, but then you were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a second.
Oh.
And then I actually, like, spent time with him. I was like, no, it's not right.
And from my understanding, that sounds like a good amount of the experience of liking men, so I feel for
wow. Okay. Depending on... Yeah, this is it as well. He cannot side with you, even if you're, like, together.
Yeah, but he's such a dickhead. And in every scenario, like, you cannot romance Steph and Steph will still be on your side.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
That's love.
That's unconditional love and support.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that, again, I talked about this in the video essay that we did on True Colors, but in terms of, like, okay, because this game has, like, Sean as a racialized character having two white love interests, who are a guy and a girl. And in True Colors, I think because so much of the, like, themes of True Colors are not in, like, as overt or away as this game, in a very, very different way. But like, you know, I think that the themes of True Colors are very much about like race and gender, right?
Yeah.
And how like women of color, particularly like, you know, Chinese women, East Asian women, and the way that they're kind of characterized within the American context, like are placed in this role of not only like domestic labor, but emotional labor and support for like the family unit, the community, etc. At the detriment of their own personal needs.
Yeah.
And because that's such a powerful theme in that game, it feels so wrong for me to pursue the relationship with Ryan, because Ryan is so involved in his own emotions, and
he's so reliant on Alex's emotional labor.
Yeah,
like,
and I think that like not only is that like an unintentional like way of expressing or enacting like white supremacy and like patriarchy, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, obviously he doesn't mean it, but you know, a lot of the time people will unconsciously, because they've internalized these things, like behave in such a way, and it feels wrong for me to pursue that with Alex. And the reason why I feel like Steph would be a good white girl to date. If I was gonna date a white girl, then I'd date Steph Gingrich.
So
you know?
valid.
And I'd you know, as much as I love Max, Chloe, and Rachel, for me, I would only date Steph, right? Because Steph is the only one. Steph is the only one with the emotional range.
Yeah.
To be
even at 16, honestly, or 17, or however old she is in Before the Storm, like. Yeah. Whereas the rest of them are messes. Like, and Rachel. Sorry.
Life. Absolute mess.
Yeah, absolute mess. God love her, but she is not. No, she's not going to be like a healthy, stable girlfriend. Let's put it that way.
No, and oh my god, bitch wears a feather earring.
Oh my god, yeah.
It would be a nightmare if I dated a girl like Rachel. But
yeah.
Steph has the emotional range to date a woman of color and be trying to like not only be supportive but address her own like internalized stuff.
Yeah.
In the case of Sean, Cass, and Finn,
No one's got the range.
No one's got the range. I prefer Cass for the reasons that we talked about, but
she's still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're both messes as well. I would say that Cass at least is less of a huge dickhead about it, so that's good. Like, she's less selfish than Finn.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, like, if we're obviously with Chloe, Max, Rachel, etc., and then like Alex and Steph, those are all like dynamics that are more long-term relationship focused, right? Whereas I feel like this particular dynamic for Sean, everything is so temporary, like
that's a good point.
It's less about like who's going to be a long-term relationship option, but more about like who is kind of giving him more of what he needs, I guess.
Yeah, I think that, and it's a good point, and I think in light of that, like, I would happily hook up with Cass, but I would not see her as relationship material.
Absolutely not. She'd be a disaster, but yeah. I mean, Hannah literally just said she can only commit to like one thing, and that's her found family. So
yeah, but it's interesting because I do want to talk about, like, when we talk to Cass about her dating history, I do want to talk about that a little.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think that the way, like, Finn's behavior in terms of, like, how he's acting with Daniel and stuff, like, I think that there's also something about its insensitivity to the particular experience that they've been having as, like, young racialized men. And even if he doesn't know what they've experienced specifically, to even think, like, you know, these are young racialized men who are homeless.
Yeah.
And, you know, that means that they encounter, like, danger in a way that I don't, and they are perceived in a way that I am not. Therefore, I should be really mindful about, like, you know, what I'm teaching this kid or the way that I'm, like, acting here.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have, like, the range for that at all. I think that Cass, but I think maybe I'd want to get into it a little bit. Even though she is, like, a mess, I think that she has it within her to be able to do that. Like,
she has the emotional range, she just doesn't have the right tools yet.
Yeah, like, I think that with some, you know, work and support, like, Cass would be, like, on a good track.
Yeah.
Because she has a good heart, and I think that she has, like, the emotional range.
And she has the right instincts as well, in terms of, like, Daniel and, like, Sean and Daniel's dynamic. And yeah, I think it is such an interesting irony that going along with Finn is what endears you. Like, Daniel prefers when you go along with Finn, but when but obviously that's the worst thing for him, whereas, like, if you're more friendly with Cassie, Daniel doesn't like it, but
yeah,
it's the better thing for him.
It's also funny that, because, like, how much is that to do with Daniel, obviously, understandably, as a 9-year-old kid, racialized in, like, a socialized in a heteronormative world.
Yeah.
Like, how much is it connected to what he is assuming about the nature of the relationships?
This is true. Yeah.
So I think that Daniel is, like, seeing Sean and Cassidy together and assuming, like, oh, my brother wants to spend time with a girl because he fancies a girl.
Yeah.
But he's not he's not picking up on, like, Finn flirting with
yeah.
Sean.
And he maybe sees Finn as, like, another brother figure and thinks of it more as, like, a familial thing. If, like, Sean wants to hang out with Finn, then he also wants to hang out with his brothers, you know, or his brother, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point.
Anyway, I am in the mood to be a little funky flirty.
A little funky flirty, we can do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think my WhatsApp keeps going off.
I don't know. I just get inspired by the things
People
I
like
see
you.
and being around people like you helps a lot.
Better than his mirror flirting, I'll give him that.
I'm like your muse. Sweet.
Well,
That was a nice, sweet
you're
flirt.
a great model. Yeah.
Oh, don't make me blush. We all learn from each other, right? That's why I love my life right now. Finally.
Yeah, but we don't always have to suck up to fuckers like Meryl. Most of the year, it's just us. The road and us.
Not that easy? I'm assuming that means in reference to Sean.
Yeah, I think not that easy would mean, like, oh, like, life on the road isn't that easy. It's not been that easy for us.
Yeah.
And then obviously the other one is, like, don't you miss anything about your old life? I think that don't miss anything might get her to start talking a little bit about.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
What do you miss about your old life? Anything?
Besides some friends? Nothing. Well, my own bathroom. Out here, you see that you don't need all that
bullshit they sell. That's freedom. I mean, the trick in this country is just to survive.
I guess.
Got a point.
I do like traveling around, but I want a base. Will you ever go back to Texas?
No fucking way. My daddy was a meth head who beat the shit out of my boyfriend. Just because he wasn't white. Yep. Then my big brother told me he would shoot me if I dated that, well, you know, my mom didn't say squat, as usual. Thanks, Mom. So, fuck 'em all. This is my family now.
Damn, I'm sorry, Cassidy.
Don't be. I feel sorry for them. So, tell me, what do you miss about your old life?
I noticed before as well, because we were on the freeze frame for so long, but the way that Sean looks at Cassidy is really lovely.
Yeah,
He's
like,
got,
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
real heart eyes going on.
Yeah, I do think that for all of its faults, it is like quite sweet. Oh, we're getting that little glitch where Sean's rolling his eyes in the back of his head. What was I gonna say? I think that there's so much going on in just that, like just what she said, that brief thing that she said about her family, like, you know, I think that obviously she implied the use of like a racial slur, like maybe the N-word, but she doesn't specify here like what his, you know, ethnicity or like how he was racialized. But like her dad like beat the shit out of her boyfriend. Like, I wonder if he's alive and what happened to him.
Yeah.
Boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then
her brother threatened her with a gun.
Her brother said that he would shoot her. I think that's really interesting because, you know, especially if her boyfriend was black, but even if he was like another racialized man, you know, we know this trope of like white men, like quote unquote, like protecting their women from like these sexually aggressive racialized men, but then when they threaten the violence upon the white women as well, like
for being like dirtied by a racialized person.
I mean
it's that kind of like it's very purity culture as much. Well, obviously it's extreme racism, but it's also racism and purity culture like combined.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about like the specific role of white women in this kind of like white supremacist ideal, right? Because like why is it so important that a white woman isn't like sullied by a racialized man? Because white women give birth, but you know, obviously cis women, but like, you know, that's the model that these people are operating on. So so the idea that someone would rather murder their sister than have her like be happy with a racialized man, like I think when you really sit with that, that's really fucking crazy. But it's I mean, I think that based on the way that she describes the situation, it makes a lot of sense that she ran away because like her brother was threatening to murder her. But it raises a lot of questions for me about like what happened to her boyfriend.
Definitely.
And then finally my mother didn't say anything. You know, so there's also like the white woman kind of being passive, and that's something that's parallel to the episode 1 in the gas station with
the white woman and the
and like that's fucking intense. That's horrible. Like that's horrible that she went through that her boyfriend went through that. That's fucked. No wonder she has commitment issues.
You would if your own brother would threaten you.
I mean, it's completely fucked. But it's I think that kind of relationship dynamic is like, you know, specifically a white woman and a racialized man is something that's so powerful in like the cultural imagination. And we have another example of it in this game. That's Esteban and Karen.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting that the question of race is brought up in the relationship with Cassidy as well.
Yeah.
Explicitly, but not with Finn.
Yeah, with Finn it's like an unspoken... Well, he doesn't... I think he's like barely really acknowledging it. I don't think he really thinks about it, which is a problem, right?
No, and I think that that's part of the reason why
I feel like Finn is the kind of dickhead who'd be like, I don't see colour. You know?
Probably.
He has that vibe.
Yeah. And I think that this kind of conversation is something that softens me to Cassidy. Obviously, it's horrible that she went through that, but I think that it's part of the reason why she has the emotional range.
Yeah. I think it's because while obviously her boyfriend suffered the brunt of racism, she's seen racism and how violent it can be. And how violent it can also be towards white people in that particular sense of like her family's racism was so extreme that they would willingly hurt her too. And like seeing how that has manifested, I think has... Yeah, she seems just a bit more... Yeah, aware, I guess. Emotionally aware. She understands what happened. She is angry at her family. And she hates what her family stand for. And how that happened, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a better position than Finn, who just sort of seems to be neutrally plugging through life, just figuring out how best things can advantage him, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
What do we miss?
I want to say family and friends, because I feel like she's just talked a lot about herself and like as in her own personal stuff, and I'd rather go a bit more in depth than just like things I took for granted.
Yeah, and I mean I think that that's the most meaningful and honest answer, because like obviously like, you know, his dad and Lila, and those are the biggest things.
Yeah.
Well,
and he was never carefree because he was a racialized kid in America, so
definitely.
Yeah.
She was like my best friend. I miss our talks.
I'm sure she's very special.
Even when I had a shitty day, she would always make me laugh. Always. Feels like years since we talked. Probably never again. But things change. Right?
Yep. So keep moving forward. You have a good heart, Sean. I think you could use some alone time. See you later.
Yeah, I think that my main source of tension and discomfort with the casting is her age, like, which you know, we don't know.
One more tank to handle, then I'll be done with this.
It feels substantial enough.
It feels substantial enough that you can feel, you know, she's more experienced than him, like, etc., etc. Like, you know, we'll probably end up coming to that, but that's very obvious in the sex scene, right? Which, like, in a lot of ways, I think
I made some good trims today.
Feels quite sweet.
And talking with the girls is always,
again,
entertaining.
You know, it's not. It's fraught.
Fraught.
It doesn't feel like I would hesitate to say that it feels predatory to me.
No, I don't think predatory is the word, but it feels... There is a slight power imbalance, for sure. I think... But equally, like, I think as well we don't know how much older she is. Like,
Yeah, we really don't, and it's difficult to
She
say
could
that.
be 18, she could be 20, she could be 23, you know, like, and I feel like it's not necessarily the age itself that makes the difference, but it's that dynamic just feels slightly imbalanced.
Yeah, I agree, because, like, I totally agree, like, thinking about age gaps, just in terms of, like, maths,
Yeah.
is not the point, right? It's about, like...
It's about a kind of...
The power imbalance.
The power imbalance. And it's like how, like, it doesn't matter how young they are, if there's, like, a person, so for instance, like, if a teacher and student got together, like, that's always going to be wrong, because there's always going to be that power imbalance, right? Like, no matter how old they are, no matter anything, like, it's always going to be a bit weird, and like there's going to be a inherently predatory nature to it, whereas obviously Cass has no like authority over him, but it does feel like there is that slight the experience imbalance for sure. But I think as well though that's and I don't know, I don't mean to go too much into my own personal experiences, but like I think especially if you, for instance, if you were having sex for the first time and you were having sex with someone who has had sex before, that's always going to be a power imbalance, right? Like there's always going to be like a slight difference. It's always going to feel vulnerable. So I think part of it is that for me.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it's difficult with both Finn and Cass because of like, you know, they've been on the run and starving and stuff like that. It's difficult to tell from how they look how much older they are. So I don't want to make that judgment necessarily, but it's mostly that, right? Like you feel that like they're both more sexually experienced than him. But I think that
I feel like that's always going to be the case with any romantic relationship. Most romantic relationships or most sexual relationships will have, like, that's just sex, right? Like, everything is sex except sex, which is power. But yeah, like there's always going to be something complicated about the dynamic, because that's just the nature of sex a lot of the time. But I don't know. It's complicated.
I want to say credit where credit's due, in that like even though that's something that like plays on my mind, like I don't generally feel like she takes advantage of him. I think there are a couple of moments where I would say like
I think if you get to a certain point and then you say no, she is quite iffy. Which I don't.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
We don't like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't like generally overall. It doesn't feel icky the way it does with Finn.
Yeah, and I think also like I mean, I don't know if this is betraying my own feelings about it, but like there are many, many worse people to have your first sexual experience with. You know? Like, I don't know. Not that I think it should always be, this is fine, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I think a lot of our understanding of sex in society is obviously through like a kind of purity culture, or a kind of like idea that sex changes you, and I think giving it that much power isn't always helpful, especially for women, obviously, because I think there is so much like history to that of like you know, saving yourself, etc. But it is obviously still very important in terms of like you want to feel safe in that experience. And I think that Sean is safe emotionally.
It feels like that. Like I you know, I've seen that sex scene a couple of times, and like it feels to me like quite sweet.
Yeah.
And it feels like she's very like, you know, gentle and patient with him, which is really what you need when you're having sex for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think, again, it's not like it's like the beginning of some long-term relationship that could be, you know, have its own imbalances. I think as a
that's important.
Sweet one-off, I think it's pretty good, honestly. Yeah.
Anyway, we didn't come up with any conclusions, but there we go. We talked about it.
It's complicated.
Hola.
Hashtag
¿Cómo
nuance.
está, señor?
Bien, ¿y tú? ¿Estás ensayando para la voz?
Oh, she actually speaks Spanish.
Yeah, well, barely.
Still
But she tries to, rather than just like sprinkles in the
At least
words.
you're trying.
Hermano.
Hermano.
Bugging you?
Never. But let me finish this new song before I forget it.
Don't let me get in the way. Talk later.
Guess we'll
Damn,
talk to
Sean.
Finn.
Can you try and be less shy sometimes?
What a question.
Yeah, that I gotta say that does feel different to me because just to say that because it felt like she was actually trying to speak Spanish, not be like
Yeah. Yeah, she's actually trying to communicate in his language. Or his, well, I don't
Penny's
know.
all over the place.
First or second language?
He'll go anywhere.
I'm not sure. It's never really clear, but I think that
Kind of
from
a language he speaks.
Yeah, from the way he speaks it, like he sounds like someone who was raised speaking both languages.
Yeah.
So he must have learned
What up?
it like
The
very,
usual.
very young.
Yeah.
Carving some wood. I learned wood carving with an Inuit native
Always carving
back
some
when I lived
wood.
in Alaska. It's an antique technique. Helps me
Stop.
vent out, focus. Yeah, I just let my hands sculpt the wood and
Oh, it pisses me off.
I have good surprises.
Stop. I didn't remember that at all.
I'm just kidding, man. It's actually a cool cowboy thing I've been trying to do for a while, but I suck at this. It's just fun to relax.
Teehee. Ha ha ha. Inuit natives. Ha ha ha.
It's just I learned wood carving from
Finn
an
is too
Inuit
punk rock to
native.
be a
Like, did you hear yourself?
Shut the fuck up.
Like, could you have said anything like wider?
Yeah.
In my travels, I learned wood carving from the Inuit natives.
These guys know how to make a
Anyone
bong
seen
out of
my face?
pretty much anything. And now I
Yeah.
do too.
Has anyone seen my face? Yeah.
I think that someone is
Guess
having a hard
Penny's
time.
looking for somebody.
Or
That sucks.
doing a lot of drugs.
Yeah. I think. And.
I think yeah.
Yeah.
To quote the
Aw.
Queen, Janelle
They look so
Monáe,
cute,
So
man.
true.
I love how they're like a
all
real
rise
family.
for the Queen.
She's my president.
Da, 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 da,
I
da.
wonder if they give me a cool nickname. if I
Wait,
stayed
no.
here.
Everything is sex
Except sex, which is power. You know, power is just sex. You screw me and I screw you too. Etc.
All rise.
Oh, all rise. Oh dear. Okay. Oh.
Nice to have a dog around again.
Aw.
Still miss room.
Which I think I also used as the title of the section in the True Colors video where I talk about Ryan and stuff.
Oh, I think I will miss it here.
Same. But we can't resist
One
the
more take to
wanderlust.
handle.
Wanderlust.
Then I'll be done with this.
Wanderlust.
I think I'll take a nap.
You know, look
Me
at
too.
Jacob's tent.
I'm exhausted after today.
Hello, Dolly. You're old. Must be tough to be so far away from your sister.
I'm gonna do this because it's illegible. Happy birthday, Sarah. I'm sorry I can't be there to eat all your cake and open all your presents. Hope you have a fun party with Mum and Dad and your friends. I can't wait to see you again and show you all my cool pictures of California. I'll call when I get the chance to sing happy birthday. Hugs to Alexander, your brother, Jake.
So cool he carries this around.
A big brother would.
Wish I
eat
could see the
cake.
pictures he took of us.
It's true.
Yeah.
Weird. Where did he get that from? Wonder who's her mom. And who's the other woman?
God, you know what this is reminiscent of?
Kate's family photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something religious trauma, something.
Kate Marsh.
Yeah.
That's some deep shit.
America versus God. Wow.
Wow, that could be... I could not tell you what the vibe of that book might be.
No, it could be anything. Okay, I think I've done...
Wonder what they all say. I actually never helped him with the dishes.
Can we
back in
talk to
Seattle.
Penny or the
Oh, yeah.
sweets?
The
But
sweets.
everything's different now.
Where is Penny? We looked at Penny's tent, but we haven't seen them anywhere.
Yeah, can't see him around.
I was really in the zone today. Hope that'll...
Oh, also, I don't have many comments yet because I'm not that far into the game, but I think that there's going to be player sexuality discourse about Baldur's Gate.
Oh, fun.
as well.
Yes, I imagine. That checks out. Yeah, I don't know where he is.
Okay, fair enough. Should we talk to the annoying white people?
I don't think we can. Thank God.
Whew,
I know.
phew. And we can't talk to Jacob either?
Jacob's not there.
Jacob's not there either. Alright.
Damn.
Let's go.
Alright,
Trimming
let's
is
do
hard.
the water.
Wider.
How do these guys keep coming back?
So much button smashing.
Ugh, that's my weightlifting for the day.
Let's carry that one to the shower.
One step at a time, Sean.
Shut up. Where's Daniel gone? Daniel was right here.
There you go. Where is he? Where is he?
I don't know.
Gotta put
Oh, I
that
think
one
maybe
near
he's
the
gone
shower.
by the shower.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna hook it up. Oh, maybe.
It'd be kind of crazy if we helped him do the dishes and then he didn't help us.
Yeah, he did offer though. I feel like he does offer.
Children.
I know.
You think you know them, and then they grow up so fast.
Where'd he go?
Daniel?
Where'd he go? He definitely was there.
Maybe we had to talk to him.
Oh, maybe. Oh well.
It's okay. It's
I
fine.
mean, he offered, which is enough, really.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, so far, his behavior this episode has been, you know, pretty good.
Considering, yeah.
Considering. You know,
Easy
so...
money, they said.
Could have been worse, for sure.
Yeah, right.
I'm nervous about how things are going to go down later, but, you know...
For
so
now,
far-
yeah. I mean, to be honest, later is going to be bad no matter what.
Yeah. that's true.
Okay.
But, like...
Time to go meet him for his training.
Yeah, I mean, there are versions where it gets really, really bad.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen the different endings.
Oh, I have.
Um,
I think I made one of them happen.
Which one? How did it end in your first playthrough?
Finn died, I think, in my playthrough. So, go figure. I mean,
that's
yeah.
rough.
It was a lot.
That's really rough. Yeah, I found out that happened after the fact.
Time to help
and
Daniel
I was,
do some power
I was
training.
horrified.
He's waiting at the lake.
'Cause I think that's the first possible like character death that you can be responsible for in the game.
Yeah.
That's when you know that shit's getting real.
Sweet.
Aww.
Because I taught him how to skip
Can you do
stones
it
as
with
well.
your power?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can do better with my own
See,
skills
sometimes
now.
being a parent is rewarding.
Next level.
Sometimes.
Onward. Ready to rumble?
Fucking A.
I'll do a little team how. That'll be fun.
Team how.
Let's start with our team how. TS Lobos.
Ow, ow, ow. Yeah,
ow, ow.
We still sound okay. Now, let's do this. Come on.
Hold up. Too many people over there. Let's hit the other side. The other side of that log looks
I feel like I'm
good
gonna
enough
be
to
putting
out of sight.
different episodes shown side by side now that you pointed out that his hoodie looks tighter.
It definitely does, right? I'm not imagining it.
I think it does.
My only thinking is if Claire over-laundered it, but...
Yeah.
Which is also a possibility.
You know what you're doing. Hey!
Your face. Come on.
Daniel!
I wasn't gonna drop it on you.
Oh my god.
Very funny, man.
We've been hanging out with Finn far too long.
Honestly, that's not funny. Look at the size of that tree. You know, a little branch is one thing.
Let's have some fun.
I gotta say, I'm also like someone who absolutely hates it when people think that that shit like you know, hiding around the corner and scaring you or throwing shit at you is funny.
It is a running thing with Daniel, I feel.
I mean, he's a kid, so I forgive it. But
Yeah.
you know how sometimes grown
Bet
men.
it's different here in the
Yes.
South. Penny said it gets crazy crowded. People
Do we want to train destruction?
I decided not to, sorry. I just went into it without actually asking.
Sorry.
I thought I'd go with control first.
I probably would have said control as well.
As that seems to be the thing that they are most worried about.
There is that lag time. That lag time
Yeah.
is getting me.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'll look into it in the next few weeks and see before we stream next if I can sort that as an issue. Beautiful, look at that.
Oh, look at him go. I'm so proud of my son.
I know. My little boy. He's all growing up.
Boy.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, and he's still going.
Whoa, Daniel.
Daniel playing Flower IRL.
That's amazing.
So true.
Is that all you got?
Precision.
He looks so happy. He's just wanted to
Pick a rock.
hang out with his
And
big
I
bro.
know.
Okay.
To,
And
Let's
to
test
have
your
someone
aims.
be proud of him.
I know.
Target in sight.
It's all any of us want.
For real.
Oh, okay. Woo!
Awesome. Okay, you're good.
Hell yeah.
Now,
I'm kind of surprised that we're
spice
even
things up a
training
bit.
destruction.
bring it on.
This isn't destruction. This is precision.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah.
if we end up doing all three anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
holy shit.
Slay.
That was not a fair fight.
That's right. What's
Damn.
next?
Yeah.
Come on.
This power
Find
is
something else.
getting
Powerful.
powerful. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, I think we do have to train destruction before we finish this.
Let's try this.
And this is how I feel about The Last of Us.
Ugly mushrooms.
Fuck these mushrooms.
I'm gonna put Neil Druckmann's
I'll blow the
face on
shit out
those
of
mushrooms, and I'm gonna fuck him up.
I'm waiting. Or maybe you... What the?
Jesus.
Bloody hell.
God, don't get on his wrong
That
side.
was some next level shit, Daniel.
Neil
Thanks.
Druckmann did deserve that, though.
He did, yeah, absolutely.
Training on my own sometimes.
I know I haven't been around a lot lately.
I feel like he does tell Finn, doesn't he? No matter what.
I guess that it's probably better to frame this as a question instead of...
An order?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You didn't tell anyone, did you?
No way. Why would I?
Not even Finn?
No. Jeez, you don't even trust me. Whatever.
Good. That's my boy.
Daniel's power is a metaphor or representation of trauma. Yeah. Yeah. And his trauma's pretty strong right now. Again, I don't want to... I might go with the question, but so I know it's going to sound sassy no matter what.
Yeah, I think that I prefer the question, even though it's not ideal.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, man?
To telling him to chill out.
I don't like this new emo Daniel.
Don't do that.
You keep throwing your attitude at me for no reason. Sick of it.
I mean, Finn is a bad influence. But I feel like that might not be the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think...
But equally...
Finn is a bad influence, but it's not just about that, you know?
Yeah, but also it makes me think of, like... if I, like, point out something my parents done and they go, oh my god, I'm a terrible parent! I also don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy either of these.
No.
It's just, like... I don't know, I think that I feel like I know that... I feel confident that Sean wouldn't say in, like, a manipulative way, like, am I a brother?
That's
true. But
true.
I think that the issue at stake is Daniel being mad at Sean.
Yeah.
And the Finn thing is just an expression
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
So I think that...
The crucial thing is their relationship. It's not actually about Finn, really.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the only reason why I'd prefer...
Yeah, that makes sense.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Am I a bad big brother? Because I hang out with other people?
You're always with them. And with Cassidy, too.
Don't be so jealous. She's cool.
She's weird. Lila was way better.
You don't know her.
I mean, never mind.
That's it. Enough. You're being a brat. Can't say anything without you having a shit fit. We're family. We still have a long way to go. And we have to go together. Right? I know it sucks. But you have to grow up now.
Okay, Luke Skywalker. Fucking hell.
I think that there's something to be said for when young men do not have healthy options available to them as to process their emotions.
Yes.
And so they act out in physically violent ways.
Yep.
And how I see that in the way that Daniel is behaving.
Yep.
Because the way that his response to, like, you have to be a grown-up now, or like, you're just a kid, is to be like, look at me, I'm so physically powerful.
Yeah.
Feels very about that.
Yeah, very masculinity.
Daniel's power as a metaphor or representation of trauma at like and political resistance. Yeah, I think that those things are definitely going on. It's tricky because I don't know how easy it is to read the power as like a like one-to-one metaphor. But
I think what you said earlier about it feeling the power being a metaphor more for Sean's lack of control feels more correct to me, I guess.
Yeah, I think that like there's a few things that could be going on at once as well. But I certainly think that like from the player's point of view, because you play as Sean, that's the thing that feels most relevant.
Yeah.
Is like the lack of control that you have in general over the situation, and also the lack of control you have like as a parent figure.
Yeah. I think this particular bit is very interesting in context of the next episode as well. Of his like it's complicated because I think at the moment Daniel doesn't realise how much he actually does need Sean.
Yeah, which I mean a lot of like kids like I feel like I can hear myself at 14 like saying that kind of thing, right? But it's interesting because now I'm thinking that like I mean, I guess that because his power, I think it's so notable that like his power is about like physical strength and physical might in a way that the others aren't.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really thought about the gender aspect of that before, but I'm thinking about it now, and I think that the way that he interacts with his power, definitely part of that is like if not like the trauma itself, how he's coping with the trauma.
Yeah, and the way he's coping with the trauma is to act violently.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily what the power is, because like it can be controlled and finessed and used to help people.
Yeah, but it's interesting, as you said, with like the gendered aspect. Like it's interesting, obviously, with like the other people we see with powers. So Max and Alex are obviously both women, and their powers aren't rooted in physical strength.
Yeah.
Whereas Daniel's is, and I think it's such an interesting choice that is his kind of power.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it kind of makes me think about like, you know, this horrible thing happened to him and then he like got this power, and like it makes me think a lot about like anger. You know? And how anger is something that like you know, you can act out of anger and be violent and cause destruction, but also like, you know, anger when you channel it can be really helpful and really revolutionary.
Yeah, but when it's, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, at the moment for him, it's kind of, he's not learning to use his anger in a helpful way, and I think that's a lot of that is Finn's influence in that. I don't, you know, it's also his anger, but it's his anger, but it's also like that's not how we as Sean have been teaching him to deal with his anger. Like we have been, you know, trying to meet his emotions where they are and try and feel them, and you know, the stuff with like the mountain lion that kills Mushroom and things like that. Like, we have been teaching him this whole time to process his anger in a more healthy way. So this definitely feels like it's not just Finn's influence, but it's also he is seeing other men who are more toxic with their masculinity, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I agree. I think the visuals of Daniel's extreme emotions and using the power, as opposed to when he's like calm and happy and he's using the power in this, like, more controlled way, is significant. I definitely agree with that. So it feels like a lot of what happens in the game like connects like Daniel's emotional state with the power and how he uses it.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop it, Daniel! No!
Ooh.
I'm not a kid anymore.
Did you see that there's like a kind of almost like blurry effect that happens on Sean's face there?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.